So now we're going to move on, and we're going to talk a little bit about Google. Now, a lot of people go, Rich, why are you going to talk about Google? What is the purpose for talking about Google? Because I want to show you something that you might not know. I'm going to show you two phones right now. This is the iPhone 7 Plus. These are both my phones. This is the iPhone 7 Plus. This is the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, not the one that explodes, the one that came before the one that explodes. So she's got that one too. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Now, here's a question for you, and yes, it is a trick question. Two phones, iPhone, Samsung phone, which has more parts in it that are actually made by Samsung?
iPhone.
The iPhone does. It's actually very, very interesting. You wouldn't think that. But here's the thing. Normally, as a loving nerd, I would never recommend a friend or family member, unless they're total nerds, go out and buy a Samsung phone. I want to explain to you why before you jump down my throat, Samsung phone users. So here's the thing. This Samsung phone right here is put together by Samsung using parts from LG, running software from Google, that's got software on top of it from Verizon, that has an insurance provider that's this and this and this other company. And when you have a problem with this phone and you call, who helps you? Nobody. Because Google will blame Samsung, and Samsung will blame LG, and they'll all blame Verizon, and it just becomes a mess. The thing is, when you're looking at the iPhone, Apple essentially owns the factories. Yes, they are using Samsung parts, but Apple designs, manufactures, and does all that. They sell all the phones in the Apple stores, if that makes sense. They sell all the phones in the Apple stores. They run Apple software. The extended warranties by Apple Care, and they don't let the carriers touch your phone. Does that make sense? They don't let the carriers load all that crap and everything on your phone. The major problem with Android for many, 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 many years is that Google did not have control. Android doesn't cost anything for Samsung to put on their phone. And they make their own little version of it, and that's why it acts up. It doesn't connect to Wi-Fi sometimes. It does other things like that. Here's what's very interesting. Google, very recently, in October of last year, just made their own iPhone. Now, that's going to sound a little strange. They didn't make an iPhone, but they made a phone that they manufacture, they support, they sell, runs their software, has no carrier bloatware, has a warranty that's run directly by Google, and an extended service plan that's run directly by Google. And this is the single most popular Android phone that's ever been sold.
Who makes the parts?
It's made by Google. So it's made, technically inside, it's made by HTC. HTC and Huawei. Huawei, which makes this, but it is purely branded as a Google phone. Google supports it. Google does everything. This is the second best phone that you can buy after the 7 Plus. But here's where things start to get interesting. You notice I didn't say Samsung makes it. I said Google makes it directly. So what I want to show you over the next 20 minutes or so is I want to show you some products that came out along with Google's first entrant into the phone market. Now, here's something I'm going to say. When you have an Android phone, I know you have an Android phone, you have an Android phone as well. The software that comes on your phone, the operating system that comes on your phone, is usually the operating system that stays on your phone. You know, when there's an update for the iPhone or the iPad, we all get it on the same day. That's because the carriers are not involved, no one else is involved other than Apple. This is Google's iPhone. It's made directly by Google. It's a fantastic phone, but I'm not going to focus on the phone. I want to show you some other things, but here's what I want to show you. This is going to put Samsung's phone division, well, Samsung's done a great job putting their own phone division out of business, but this is going to put Samsung's phone division out of business because this is in the same price point as a Samsung Galaxy S8, and it's a far better phone. Do you remember yesterday or 2 days ago in Google Photos when we were talking about high quality and original?
Yes.
One of the benefits of this phone is when you take pictures with this phone, it gives you unlimited original storage. So it gives you unlimited original storage. This phone is tied directly into Google Photos. When you take a picture, it analyzes your picture in Google Photos and makes the picture better automatically. So this is the Google Photos phone, as weird as that sounds. It's the Google Photos phone, and I bet you'll never guess how it charges. USB Type-C. So what's cool is I can charge this with my MacBook charger. I can plug in, if I wanted to plug in an external hard drive, I could plug in an external hard drive to it. The thing is, this is a piece of Google tech. Now, why I show this is because this is a really cool phone, and the other cool thing is what you can do with it. One of the interesting spaces I referenced earlier was something called augmented reality. At some point I mentioned that earlier in the cruise. Imagine for a second I can take this phone, I can put it inside of this. I have to be very careful of what I say because I had something really funny last cruise. One What? An update required? Oh, I need to update my controller. Let's let that go on while we talk about something else. And then I'll show you this a bit later. I have to update my controller because I haven't updated my controller. But this is actually virtual reality that uses this phone. I'm going to let that update. Let's let it run. But I want to talk about something going there. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about Alexa. Remember we talked about Alexa the other night? Amazon's version of Alexa. Now, the problem with Alexa is you can ask her something, but she doesn't have any place to visually show you something. Now, this Android phone is for Android phone people. It's for people who want an Android phone, and not everybody wants one. But I want to show you some Google stuff that works with iPhones and iPads and everything like that. And the first is the Google Air Freshener. It's not actually an air. It's not an air freshener. It's called the Google Home. It's not an air freshener. But what this is this is a little. It looks like an air freshener, though, doesn't it? It looks like one of those Airwick air fresheners. And here's the cool thing, it's kind of always listening to me. So I'm going to show you something that's incredibly mind-blowing, and I'm going to explain to you how what I just did works after it works. That's what makes it so much cooler. Someone name me something I might have taken a picture with before.
Airplane.
I don't want that. I did that today. Turtle. Perfect. So, okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask this device to look through my photos in Google Photos and then visually display my photo on the TV. I want to show you what this can do. This is really kind of like smart home of the future stuff. I want to show you how this works. I'm not sure what's going to come up, I'm being completely honest. But what this has is this device has access to all 530,000, probably 531,000 by now, gone out the past few days, 531,000 photos in my Google Photos library. And I can say, OK, Google, show me my pictures of turtles on Batman. Wait a second. We're on a ship.
Showing your photos of Turtle on Batman.
Well, maybe. I don't know what's going to come up on there. Now, you're going to ask what Batman is in a couple seconds, and I'll explain to you. But what this is doing is now it's opening my Google Photos, and I'm hoping. I don't know what's going to come up. I'm hoping I'm going to get pictures of a turtle. There we go.
Oh, look at that. Where's the Batman part?
I'll explain Batman in a second. But you'll see, oh, there's a finger. Maybe that thinks that's a turtle. But it'll go through, and it's actually going to show me my picture. There's a turtle. Google Photos automatically identified that. Now, one of my favorite places in the world is Estonia. So I can say, OK, Google, show me photos of Estonia. Hold on, let me stop that. OK, Google, show me my photos of Estonia on Batman. And I'll tell you, the worst thing about this is I have to stop talking for a very brief period of time. And that's very hard for me to do.
Batman.
That's a receipt for something I took in Estonia. Don't worry. But here's the thing. It's local. But you see, this is the ship in Estonia. This is a ship anywhere. And I can say, OK, Google, show me my pictures in Tivoli Garden on Batman. I'll explain what Batman is in a second. But hopefully, I don't know if it can do this.
That's that.
That's Estonia. Yeah. I have to be quiet.
Showing your photos of Tivoli Garden on Batman.
There we go. So Tivoli Garden. Now, what Batman is that's the name of my TV. Now, I have multiple TVs that have these receivers in my house. I'm going to show you how it works in a second. I have multiple TVs that have these receivers in my house, and they're all named after different Batman characters. So depending on where I am, we've got Batman, we've got Joker, we've got Two-Face, we got Batgirl, and they all have different names. Now, the Google Home right here is kind of like an Alexa. It listens to exactly what you're saying. You see my pictures from Tivoli Gardens. It's kind of like an Alexa. And what's actually making all of this work is a little gadget that I have down here. I'm going to pick up, actually, I'll show you on the screen. It's called the Chromecast. So it's called the Chromecast. And what it does is it's kind of like an Apple TV. But it's Google's version of Apple TV. Here's the cool thing to understand. To use the Home, to use the Chromecast, you can be an Apple person. This works perfectly fine with iPhones and iPads and all those different things like that. So the Chromecast is just that little box right there. Just not even the little box, just this little thing is the Chromecast right there. It plugs into the back of your TV, and if you ask it to do something, it can actually turn on your TV and then turn that thing on because it has a screen. So the Amazon Echo can only answer there. Give me something that you might watch on YouTube, anything.
I learned review.
Yes, okay. It's a planted suggestion. Thank you. OK, Google, Open iLearn review on YouTube on Batman. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, let's see. That's bad.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that yet,
Oh.
but I'm learning more every day.
Good, because it didn't. Okay, Google. Open iLearn review on YouTube on Batman. No, iLearned review. Yeah, she has no clue what that is. Let's pick something a little that's not I learned. Right, maybe?
Sorry,
Okay.
I don't know how to help with
Let's
that.
try. Okay, Google. Open Celebrity Edge videos on YouTube on Batman.
Sorry, I'm not
Okay.
sure how to help with that yet.
This is syntax. Okay, Google. Open Celebrity Edge videos on Batman. Come on, come on. Do what I want you to do.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that yet.
Okay, so this is being stupid with me. I did it right before the class, and this is what's amusing. And these things are new devices, and that's why it's at. Okay, Google. Play a video of Celebrity Edge on Batman. Don't give me this, sorry, I can't help.
Sure, play Celebrity Edge videos from YouTube on Batman.
There we go. But I can go in and I can say, hey, play me these videos from, and you can tell it. If you only have one TV, you just have to say on the TV. I have multiple TVs. But here's the thing. Did you see me pull out a remote or a phone or a watch or anything? I just screamed. And okay, this is the Celebrity Edge reveal. There's 67,000 views. I'm not going to let the whole thing go. But I can go and I can do that. I can say, okay, Google, play Billy Joel from Google Play Music. And there's this, after you quiet for a couple seconds, and there's actually a speaker inside of here. And it should start playing the speaker in a few seconds.
All right, playing Billy Joel on Google Play Music.
So I can go in and I can play, and I can be doing multiple things. Okay, there's the celebrity event playing on YouTube. And in a couple seconds, Billy Joel is going to start on there. And I can start, I can stop.
Hi everyone, I'm Nathan, the Celebrity Cruises Design Ambassador. I'm honored to be sharing the news.
I'm gonna stop
of
the,
latest breakthrough in modern luxury
I'm going to
travel.
stop the video.
Celebrity has continued
Hey.
to push the travel industry
Hey.
forward with
Okay,
their
Google.
stunning ships. And once again,
Pause,
they're
Batman.
setting the standard for modern cruising. I couldn't be more proud
Pause.
to introduce
Pause, Batman.
a revolutionary new
Okay, this is me talking to myself.
to shatter expectations.
You know what we're going to do?
Edge is not
Okay. I'm trying to show you where this is all headed, but here's the thing. A lot of these gadgets I'm talking about rely on one common thing. Here's the thing you don't understand, and I think this is a very interesting concept. One of the things that's become very interesting is our home Wi-Fi that we have at home is garbage. The routers that we have at home are really not great. And in the Google announcement where they announced the new phone, one of the coolest things they announced was something called Google Wi-Fi. And I used to only have one piece of Google Wi-Fi, but now I have three because my parents couldn't figure out how to use the other two, so I had them just send it to me. But this is really cool. What this is these are little pods, and I have three of them. I'm going to show you all three of them. And what this is this is a way to get perfectly working Wi-Fi through your entire house. Because here's the thing you don't realize. Almost everything you have nowadays connects to Wi-Fi. Your watch, your phone, your iPad, your computer, your thermostat, your light bulbs, everything connects to Wi-Fi. I don't know how many of you have a refrigerator that connects to Wi-Fi, but we have a refrigerator that connects to Wi-Fi. We've got all of that. And right now it's a luxury, per se, but very soon it's going to be a standard thing. So this is called Google Wi-Fi, and this is probably one of the coolest products. It's actually a little cooler than the Pixel. This is a home Wi-Fi mesh network. And you've probably been hearing me talking for a little bit about how, and I've been talking on this on a tirade, how all the phone carriers are going to go out of business pretty soon. And all the cable providers are going to go out of business pretty soon. This is exactly what is going to replace this in much bigger scales. Instead of running cables, any of you have your house wired? You've got Ethernet through the whole house? Yes. So instead of doing that, you could use these guys instead if you don't want to go back and wire your whole house. What you do is you take one of them and you plug it into your modem. So you plug it in where the internet's coming in. Then you take the others and you put them around the house. And what it does is it makes a mesh network, a single network. Now on the ship, when you go into your Wi-Fi settings, you only see one celebrity Wi-Fi, am I correct? You don't see 50 celebrity Wi-Fis. But almost anywhere you're standing on the ship, you're going to have about 12 or 13 different networks that are celebrity Wi-Fi, but you just see one, because it's in a giant mesh. And this has only been available to corporations for many years. Google's the first company that made it really easy for normal people to use. So what you do is you take the first one, you plug it in, it's all very well labeled and everything like that, and you open up the Google Wi-Fi app. I don't have any of them hooked up right now or else I would show you, but you go ahead and you open up the Google Wi-Fi app and you set it up, and then you take the second one and you put it a distance away. It'll check it and make sure it's good, and this will blanket your entire house with Wi-Fi. And it is insane. Now, who knows Wi-Fi better than the company that runs the biggest search engine in the world? That's the way I feel. And it's the simplest app. What I do, I don't have it hooked up right now, but it's the simplest app because I have all the Wi-Fi points right here. And just for fun, I bet nobody in this room can guess how all of these are powered. USB-C. But here's the thing. These don't look like the routers you would have at home, do they? No. They're very, very simple. They create a mesh network. And we used to have big problems with people through the house getting Wi-Fi. And now you don't have those problems anymore. Here's the most important thing. The router that your internet provider gives you, the one that Comcast or Bell or Shaw or Telus gives you, that's not designed to give you the best internet possible. These things are. These things are, they're insane. And the cool thing, you can actually shut off the internet. If it's dinner time and you want the kids to not browse on the internet, you can shut it off. You can also prioritize the internet. So if you're watching Netflix and you're watching a full HD video on Netflix and you want it to not shutter, you could say prioritize this device for the next half hour, and it prioritizes the device for the next half hour. It's very, very cool. Yeah?
So they're plugged in.
So they're plugged in just to power. So the first one is, so we understand this. The first one is plugged into power as well as what is giving you internet right now. So for right now, we plug that in, and it's plugged into power as well as what's giving you internet. The other two will read from the first one, and will redistribute that as a single signal.
So they don't have to be.
They have to be plugged into the wall. They're plugged into the wall. But they're not plugged into the internet. You don't need to wire the house. And this is just as efficient as wiring the house. Now, let me give you a vision of the future. If you take a big one of these and put it at the end of every city block, and then you have these retrieve from the big one of them and then redistribute in the house.
You don't need that.
No. You don't need Comcast. You don't need AT&T. You don't need those companies like that. So what you do is, a lot of people go, well, Comcast or AT&T or Sprint or T-Mobile or all of these, they're too big to fail. But Google's buying up technology companies that make this kind of tech all the time, and so is Apple and all those. So you put a couple of these in a city, and everybody has a repeater like this in their house, guess what your internet cost you? Nothing.
Tell them to hurry.
Tell them to hurry. Here's the thing. Comcast and the other companies are blocking them from doing this. But here's the cool thing. This is an evolution of tech. And it's the simplest Wi-Fi router in the world because it lights up when it's a certain color and it goes off. But this is so. I'm going to explain. So these are called, they are not the same as the Apple ones. So these are very different than the Apple ones because the Apple ones are called Airport Expresses and they extend your Wi-Fi. They don't make a seamless network. They extend the Wi-Fi. This is using a completely different technology called mesh. There's 3 antennas inside each one of these. 2 of those antennas is to send Wi-Fi. And the other is to connect them to each other. So the Apple one just has a big antenna that connects them together. This has one specific antenna inside each unit to connect them to each other. Now, the Google Wi-Fi, the Google Chrome, I want to give you pricing. I want to explain to you how it all works in a minute. I'm going to give you the pricing so you can understand. I just want you to see the concept of where it's headed. Now, one of the last things I want to show you, and then I'll take any questions because this is finally updated here, is something called augmented reality. So something called augmented reality. And this is something that you're going to probably see come to Apple devices pretty soon as well. But imagine if you could just take your phone, stick it on your head, and I'm just seeing a single image. You're seeing 2 images, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, you see 2 images. I just see a single image right here, and I have this little remote. Anybody want to guess how the little remote charges? Oh, okay. We got it. So it charges over USB Type-C. And I have this little environment right here, but I want to show you something. I got to put it in my correct hand. I can actually open up my photos from Google Photos inside of virtual reality, and I can look all the way around a panorama. So I'm going to open up my panos. This is the pano I took in class the other day. And I let that pano open, and not only can I, and you see I have a little magic wand right here, And I'm actually looking at the panorama in full 360 degrees. So I'm looking at it. Give it a look. You're the first guy here. Go ahead and take a look. Now you got to put the strap on. There we go. He's looking at the panorama. You can look around. You should see it. There we go. And you can see the full pano. But you can watch videos. I want to pass it around all the way. Pass it back over here. I'll let everybody check it out a little bit later if you want to see it. But this is looking at it in full 360 degrees. But here's the concept. There's ones of these that have the camera open. And you can augment your own reality. Does that make sense there? You can augment your own reality. Here's the important thing. I'm going to give you pricing. I'm going to explain all the pricing on this. I want to explain to you the best place to get it. But I'm not showing you these things to buy them. If you're a nerd and you like this stuff, buy them. I'm showing you these things because what I just showed you right now is going to challenge Apple and move Apple forward to make the next generation of products even better. Does that make sense? That's the whole goal. Because unfortunately, I love Samsung because it pushes Apple to make better products. And when Samsung's phones blew up, that was actually good for Apple and bad for Apple in the same way because they didn't really have a competitor anymore. If you want to talk about the competitor to the iPhone, can you name a valid competitor right now? Samsung doesn't have a phone on the market that's less than a year old. You see what I mean? So they don't have a valid competitor. This pushes them forward. I want to give you some pricing so you can understand everything I showed you. This is called the Pixel, which is the first one. This is called the Pixel XL. It is, in my opinion, the second best phone in the world. It runs about the same price as an iPhone. So it is a premium smartphone. It runs, for 32 gig, it runs $650. For 128, it runs $750. It runs in the same exact pricing as the iPhone, but it is, no questions, the best Android phone money can buy right now. It keeps rated every time. This is even rated above the Samsung phone because here's the thing. When this phone gets a software update, it gets it the same day Google puts it out. My Samsung phone got its first software update in a year last week. Because Samsung has to sign off on the update, and Google has to sign off on the update, and T-Mobile has to sign off on the update. This phone, Google signs off on the update, and guess what? It's done. Comes directly to you. It's a lot more secure. So this runs about the same price as those. Now this is something, you don't really use this in cahoots with your iPhone. It's a replacement for your iPhone or your iPad. But I show it because I think it moves things forward. This is called the Pixel XL. This is called the Daydream. And it's actually just a holder. There's no tech inside. It's a holder for the phone. You slap the phone right in there, and you actually have a 360 virtual reality of what you're doing. But this is the most anti-tech product you've ever seen because it has the feel of sweatpants. I'll pass this guy around. Don't put it on your head, but you can actually feel. It has the feel of sweatpants. It's like scuba material. It's a jersey material. So that's called the Daydream, and that's like $50. Generally, if you buy the phone from a Verizon or someone else like that, they'll give you that for free. The next thing I want to talk about is this guy, which is called the Google Home. Now, this can do a lot more than I even said it could do. One of the cool things it can do, you can ask, hey, how far is work? How long's the commute to work? And it taps into Google Maps. And it does that. I'm going to try, okay, Google, how do I say I love you in Spanish? I have to be quiet for a few seconds. Yeah, shh. Let's see if Google wants to tell me. I have to be quiet.
She said it.
Oh, she did.
Te amo.
Te amo, and there we go. But I can ask all kinds of things because this is tied into all of the Google services. So it's tied into Google Translate, it's tied into Google Photos, it's tied into all that. But here's what's cool. Unlike Amazon and the Alexa, if you need a screen, you have a screen. So I can say, okay, Google, show me photos of hamburgers on Batman. And it interfaces. I have to be quiet enough to do this. And it interfaces directly.
Photos of hamburgers on Batman.
I don't know what's about to come up. Good, it doesn't want to show me. Okay, oh no, it does. This is always very dangerous when you do this because I don't have a preview. This is just gonna. But how this is working is it's working with something called the Chromecast. So the Google Home and the Chromecast are what I would consider buys. Oh, yay. There's a hamburger. That was from St. Lucia. I like hamburgers because it's one of the few things on the menu you'll always know what it is. That was in a resort that we went to in St. Lucia. Didn't get the hamburgers from today yet because I haven't been on board enough and we took too many pictures in the Star Wars Museum. That's in St. Kitts. No, that's in St. Lucia. I don't know where things are. So you put a Chromecast on each TV, but here's the oh, there's a burger. Here's a Chromecast is a lot cheaper than an Apple TV. Chromecast costs about $35. So this is called the Google Home, and this is about $120, $130. Well, and you can get the, oh, there's Cuisine. I'm going there for dinner tonight, too. Cuisine 2 times in a cruise. That's bad for the diet. But I can go in, and I've got that, and it's auto. I got to turn that off. But it's auto, yeah.
That one.
Look, yeah, that's the one we had today. That's in St. Martin. It's in a place called Burger Madness. There's me with my giant burger. I'm going to block that. Okay, Google, stop the photos. There's a picture with Ron and all that. So what's cool is if you buy the Google Home directly from Google now, from their website, they will give you, it stopped. Hey, look at that, it actually worked. If you buy it directly from Google now, and you on their website, and you bundle a Chromecast with it, the Chromecast is free. So they give you $35 off of the whole order. But the Chromecast is just this little gadget right here. You plug it in the back of your TV, and the cool thing is when you have it plugged in the back of your TV, even if your TV's off, if you just have one, you can just say, okay, Google, oh, it's not going to do it now. Okay, Google, play pictures from St. Martin on my TV. It will turn on your TV and play the pictures. You can even control the volume with voice. You could say, okay, Google, play my Netflix video on the TV. Or you could say, I've said play House of Cards from Netflix.
Sorry,
And
I'm not sure how to help.
say,
Microphone off.
there we go. Okay. So you can say play it on TV. So these two come in a little bundle from Google now. You can sometimes find them a little bit cheaper. I'm giving you list price so you can understand. But this is called the Google Home, and this is called the Google Chromecast. And you saw how they work together, and if you start using Google Photos, it's amazing because you can just walk into your house, say, okay, Google, show me this on the TV. It'll automatically pull up those pictures from Google Photos and put them up on your TV. Yeah?
I say that onto my telephone, or I have to have the Google Home?
So interesting question. You ask a very interesting question. So you say that on your telephone, you have to have the Google Home. Google Photos has the ability to put it on the TV directly from an iPhone, from an Android phone, from any of them, if you have a Chromecast right there. Google Photos and all of this stuff I'm using right now uses the Google Assistant, and you will be getting the Google Assistant if your Android phone ever gets a software update. It's in Android 7.0, so if your phone manufacturer updates to 7.0, then you'll be getting Google Assistant on there, which is what runs all of this tech here.
And does the iPhone have Google?
The iPhone does not yet have Google Assistant. Google has hinted that it might be coming to the iPhone. Google Assistant is Google's version of Siri. That's essentially what you've been listening to right there. Now this one runs $29 on its own. This is like $129. If you buy from Google's online store, both in the US and Canada and in the UK as well, as a bundle, you get this one essentially for free, which is what's nice there. And you can go in and you've got that like that. And the last one I want to talk about is actually the most novel. This is called Google Wi-Fi. Oh. This is Google Wi-Fi. These come in a single pack. You have no clue how amazing these work. I love them. Come in a single pack for $129, and for $299 you get a 3-pack. And it will blanket your house in Wi-Fi, and it will do an amazing job. And you have one network, and you have all kinds of really cool tech. Like if you have a guest that comes on, you can send them an email with a password. It automatically realizes it. And here's the last thing I want to tell you about all of these products, which is really cool. They were all announced in an event in October. And inside of their respective apps for the phone, for this and all that, you go ahead, you go in, and you say if you need help, you put in your phone number. Right? So you put in your phone number, and within about 2 minutes, any time of the day, I've called them 5 or 6 different times, within 2 minutes, any time of the day, an American picks up the phone. Google is owning the support. Here's the thing. I know a lot of you in this room are Apple people. I know we've got a couple people that are not Apple people. When you call Apple support, you generally get someone you can understand, correct? When you call Samsung support, when you call Sony support, when you call those other ones, here's what's cool. Google is creating and supporting all of these products. They're not building them, but they're supporting all the products in the US. This is Google becoming Apple. And in my opinion, it's a very good thing because it gives Apple a strong competitor. And when you have two companies that are strong competitors, you know that Google and Apple are the #1 and #2 companies in the world. And that's how we talk about them. And I'm talking not in ratings or anything like that. I'm talking they are the biggest public companies in the world. Apple's bigger than Google. But I personally, I use a lot of this stuff, but my main gadgets are, my main phone in my pocket is still an iPhone. My main computer is still a MacBook Pro. I use Google services on Apple devices. And this was the last of the tech tip sessions to kind of, has it really brought everything together that we've talked about? It's kind of brought together the Google Photos. I've explained a little bit about my theory on the cell networks. So the range on these is only limited by your imagination. Now what I mean by that is the 3-pack will cover a huge house, a multi-story house and everything like that. But let's say, for example, you wanted to extend and give your neighbor access. They can buy one of these and put it in their house, and it'll link over to there as well. So technically, if you wanted to really get Comcast, you could buy one Comcast cable subscription and then put one of these in your house, and one in your neighbor's house, and one in your neighbor's house, and jump it around. Because this is eventually what Google's going to do anyway. It's called mesh. And this is what's going to replace cell phone networks.
How much a 3-pack?
A 3-pack's $2.99.
What
three-
distance?
This
At the
internet
distance,
connection
the
isn't
distance.
strong enough at the
Whoa,
moment.
what are we talking? Okay, I don't know who's talking. So, I don't know who talked. What distance? The distance is dependent on factors. I wish I could get. It depends on how many walls, what the material is, and everything like that. The answer is you can always extend them. So when you set up the first one, you put the second one down, and it's going to test if it's got a good link to the second one. And it'll tell you, hey, you can move this further away. Hey, you can move this further away. So I'm not one of the people that understands square foots and stuff like that, but we have a pretty big home, and 2 of them covers it. So 2 of them covers a pretty big home. It's only a single-story house, but 2 of them. What? You want what's on the real estate listing, or the thing that my dad uses as a bedroom, but it's really an office? Okay, no, yeah. How many bedrooms? 1, 2, 5 bedrooms. 5-bedroom house. We've got 2 of these in, and it covers a 5-bedroom house flawlessly. We have 103 devices connected to Wi-Fi in our house. There's 5 of us. Every light bulb connects to Wi-Fi. Every thermostat connects to Wi-Fi. The refrigerator connects to Wi-Fi. The water heater connects to Wi-Fi. I don't know why, but these are called Google Wi-Fi. Very simple.
And you could
Yep.
buy more of those if you want.
And you can always, that's why you're asking about range, you can always add an additional one or an additional 3-pack or anything like that.
Where do you get them?
All of these devices are available on Google's website. So you just go look up Google Home, Google Pixel. You'll get right to Google's website. Google Pixel is sold at Verizon as well. So it's sold at Verizon as well. These are all first-generation products, and they're all really cool. You can pick up the Chromecast and the Home at Target or anywhere like that. I'll put it like this. You can probably pick up a Chromecast and a Home for free. And you're looking at me and you're going, what are you talking about? I am 100% sure that you all have gift cards sitting around for some store that sells Chromecast and Homes. Because Target sells it, Walmart sells it, Best Buy sells it. Everybody sells the Chromecast and sells the Home. So I'd put it like that. You've got holiday gift cards sitting around. You've got a Chromecast and you got those other ones for free. But the whole...
Kind of got video 360.
Uh-huh.
How do I, what device do I record total video?
What device? So there's a couple of different devices. The best one out now, I'm going to recommend something with the S word. It's called the Samsung Gear 360. I have one downstairs in my cabin, and it works very, very well for that.
Price range?
Price range is about $300. About $300 for it. It's basically a GoPro glued to another GoPro, and it takes out a wide range of vision. Tomorrow, I want to let you know what's going on tomorrow. Tomorrow in here at 10:30, we're going to be looking at the Mac. Tomorrow at 1 is all about the cloud. So we've addressed Google Photos, we've addressed that animal in the room, but I want to address the cloud in the perspective of things other than photos and video. We're going to be talking about storing passwords in the cloud. We're going to talk about email a little bit. And then tomorrow afternoon, we've got the iLearn VIP Group 3. And then the next day, we have Gmail. Gmail and more. So I want to answer everyone's questions about Gmail. And then once we answer that, we will do the more side. But I'm going to show you how to get Gmail, how to switch over to Gmail, how to move all your stuff over to Gmail, how to get your contacts over to Gmail, how to switch everyone. Because here's the thing, as you can very clearly see Google products, I also know for a fact that, and I'm going to say this, everybody's going to go, oh, if you get a Gmail account, and I'm waiting for the groans. If you get a Gmail account, it is the last email account you will need in your lifetimes. I might need something else. That was a joke. I might need something else, but I think that Google is going to be around for quite a while now, and I think that's a safe bet. You can't say that about AOL, you can't say that about Yahoo, you can't say that about Hotmail, you can't say that about Comcast. Yeah?
What about a Mac?
What do you mean? A Mac email we'll talk about tomorrow as well in the cloud. I'm going to wish you all a good night and have a good one.